All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're joining us from today. And I'd like to welcome you to today's Mainframe Software Manager webcast. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Len Thompson, and I'm Broadcom's Mainframe Division Community Manager. And again, I'd like to welcome you. Before I hand you off to Jan from the product team, I just want to let you know that we are recording today's session, which is why you're currently on mute. If you have any questions along the way, please use the questions box along the right side of the screen to ask them, and we'll get through as many of them as we can. And if we have time at the end, I can also let you know how to have your line unmuted if you want to ask your questions that way. The recording of today's session will be posted out in the communities probably early next week. And the last thing for me is that we are always looking to make these sessions as valuable as possible. With that in mind, I have a quick survey that will pop up at the end of the webcast. If you could just give us another minute or two of your time to give us some feedback, that'd be awesome. Thank you very much. And with that out of the way, I want to, excuse me, hand you off to our speaker today. So take it away, Jan.
Thank you, Len. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining. My name is Jan Cihar, and I'm the product manager responsible for standardization of mainframe software management here at Broadcom. In this session, I'll be talking about the new installation strategy. I will start with a quick overview, and then we will take a look at the different parts of the software management process and how they change with the new standard. As the last point in the agenda, I'll also shed more light on the impact of the new software management standard on CSM and its users. As many of you probably heard by now, Broadcom, IBM, and other major mainframe vendors are collaborating on a new platform-wide standard that enables all mainframe software to be acquired, deployed, configured, maintained, and upgraded in a consistent way using a single tool, Z2SMF. The new installation strategy is aimed towards the next generation of system programmers. At Broadcom, we have a persona called Tyler. He is 25 years old, has a college degree, and with just a couple years of experience, he still works alongside an experienced system programmer. He's used to work with modern development and orchestration tools, has a lot of web, IT, and Unix experience, but is learning the mainframe and Z2SMF environment. I believe that most vendors have their own version of Tyler's as well. Having one standard across all products and vendors will not just greatly simplify the onboarding process of system programmers. Things like automation, wizard-driven dialogues, or input validation will reduce time and knowledge required for software management in general, and it will also make it less error-prone at the same time. I would also like to point out here that in case you prefer managing your software manually using green screen, there is nothing forcing you to change that. The new standard works alongside the manual process. Before we move forward, I just want to make sure that everyone knows what Z2SMF is. The ZOS ZOS management facility is a tool that simplifies the day-to-day operations and administration of ZOS systems. It is accessible through the graphical user interface in web browser or through REST APIs. ZOS is also a base element of ZOS since version 2.2, I believe. Now, let's take a look at the different parts of the software management process and see what exactly is changing and how. I'm not going to talk about the current acquisition and installation process, as I assume you all know how the process works right now, and also there is the fact that it is different per product and per vendor. The new process is much shorter, partially done on the vendor side already, as I will explain in a moment. You order your product the very same way you are used to from the customer support online portal and acquire it directly to your Z2SMF. In case you cannot do that for some reason, such as security reasons or so, you can acquire it to Z2S. You can also manually download it to your PC and then transfer it to your mainframe from where you can acquire it to the Z2SMF. Now, what is being acquired is something called portable software instance. A portable software instance is a portable form for a software instance, including the SMP CSI datasets, all associated SMPE managed targets and distribution libraries, also non-SMP managed datasets, and all the metadata required to describe your software instance. In terms of the acquisition of maintenance, there is no change, as this is already available to our customers. The best practice is to use the SMPE receive order, which allows you to build a custom package of missing PTFs, download it to your mainframe, and receive the PTFs to your global zone. The main benefit of using receive order is that you can tailor the process to your needs. You can specify what and when will be acquired, and using a job scheduler, acquire the PTFs automatically on regular cadence. All right, moving on to configuration. In the current process, Broadcom typically provides a sample job, and customers are then editing the jobs and configuring members on mainframe using green screen. The Z2SMF workflows are the new standardized way of configuring products. Workflows provide a wizard-driven experience with full control via Z2SMF UI, but they are also automation-friendly. Workflows can be called through Z2SMF APIs from tools such as Zoe, CLI, or others. Now, looking at the process, Broadcom will deliver Z2SMF workflows as part of the portable software instance that I described earlier. Customers can customize them and run the series of steps in order to configure the product. For those that are already familiar with workflows, we also recently released a free Visual Studio extension, the Visual Studio Code extension called Workflows for Z, that allows you to create, edit, and validate the ZSMF workflow definition files, as well as generate the variable input files much faster than the inbuilt editor in ZSMF. I would strongly recommend to try it. Following the installation and configuration process, maintenance is the next logical step for standardization. As you might heard already, Broadcom is currently implementing the functionality of PTF installation into IBM's Z2SMF. This will provide a dialogue-driven PTF installation for SMPE service as an additional function in Z2SMF, which is called software update. This will allow us to quickly extend the benefits of CA CSM to a wider audience, and also provide a foundation for IBM and other mainframe vendors to further improve the PTF installation process in future. We divided software maintenance into 3 separate use cases. Corrective service, which is basically applying a software update to fix a specific problem. Recommended service is an installation of vendor recommended software updates. You might know the CA cards or Broadcom's cards, or for IBM RSUs. And FixCat, the last use case, that is installation of software update that provides support for new hardware, software, or a function. Now, let's take a look at the current development status of the 3 use cases. We already finished the implementation of corrective service at the end of last year, and currently we are integrating it to it's being integrated into ZOSMF. We finished the design phase for recommended service, and we started implementation just recently. For both corrective and recommended service, we are expecting to both to be publicly available by summer later this year. I guess many of you are now asking themselves, what is the role of CSM in the new standard? CA CSM was launched in 2008, and ever since is greatly simplifying the installation and maintenance process for experienced system programmers. We believe the time has come to standardize and modernize even further, and to address the ongoing concerns of mainframe shops to reduce costs, increase efficiency, and address the skill management challenges. Now, let's take a look at the different core functions of CSM and summarize how they are implemented in the new standard. The best practice for acquisition will be to use the ZOSMF portable software instance that I described earlier, that you can obtain from the customer support portal. The best practice for configuration will be to use ZOSMF workflows that will be part of the software portable software instance. And now, in terms of the current status, portable software instances and configuration workflows are currently being developed by for many Broadcom products. The first product having both already available to try is CA Vantage, and many more will actually follow later this year. I would encourage everyone interested in the status of a specific product to reach out to your Broadcom point of contact, or you can also reach out to the product team directly to get more details. You can also simply reach out to me, and I will navigate you in the right people. For acquisition of maintenance, the best practice remains the same, using SMPE receive order. In terms of applying maintenance, the best practice will be using the new software update function in ZOSMF that will be available by summer 2020. Now, coming back to the topic of CSM, in the short to medium term, CA CSM will continue to be supported during the transition to the new standard. Please note that is in a support mode only and is not being enhanced with new features. We don't have a specific date yet, but once the key elements of the new standard are in place and accessible to our customers, namely, acquisition, installation, configuration, and maintenance, Broadcom will end support for CSM. And as per Broadcom policy, CSM 6.0 end of support will be announced at least 12 months before it becomes effective. Now, before I conclude my presentation and we move on to the Q&A, I would like to encourage everyone interested to hear more about these topics or the topics that I just covered to join our validation project. We are hosting sessions on a regular basis where we provide an update on current development, we collect feedback from customers, and we share our future plans. In case you have any questions, this would be the best place to ask. Also, please don't hesitate and reach out to me if you have any questions in future regarding these topics, or if you just want to talk about mainframe software management. Thank you all for your time. I hope you found this session useful. I know it was just a high-level summary, but please reach out if you are interested to hear more about these topics, and we can dive into the technical details as well. Len, over to you. We can start the Q&A session.
All right, thanks very much, Jan. Great job as always. I don't see any questions in the questions box. So maybe some of you want to ask your questions verbally. If you want to do that, right in the GoToWebinar, there's a way to raise your virtual hand. If you do that, then I can unmute your line. So we'll give you a minute to do that and to type if you'd rather do that. Oh, we do have one question. Let me just unmute the speaker. Go ahead, Phil. You're unmuted.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Len. Yeah, this is Phil Janillo. Just a quick question on ZOS MF. I was wondering, is there any special authority required in order to get ZOS MF configured to work with the process that you described?
Could you please describe a bit more what you mean by authority?
Yeah, like ZOS MF itself, does that require special permissions and authorizations in order to be able to utilize it with the new process that you described?
Well, there is a configuration required for ZOS MF to run by itself, but there is nothing specific required for the functions I just described. Jan, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, hi, this is Jan, Adrian. I will a little bit clarify it. It depends on a plugin installed. So for the software management, this is special plugin or will be special plugin. So there might be some authority needed for manipulating with CSIs or using SMP environment. For workflows, there is nothing special, but the configuration workflows. You need to have authority to perform jobs which are run by the workflows. So it depends mainly on your configuration of the environment. I would say there is no general answer to this. Please, if you would like to know more in detail, it's very easy to ask my colleagues, and we can get a summary of the information for you. Just drop a message or contact somewhere in the system, and we can contact you with the answers.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Phil. All right, we do have a few questions coming in the questions box now, so just give me 1 second to pull them open. With portable software instance, does that mean there will no longer be a PAX file?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Let's see.
Let me maybe clarify this question. There will be still option to use Apex files, but a portable software instance is a new way of or a new type of installation file.
Just hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Don, you're unmuted.
Okay, yeah, and this is Dawn Demore. I just want to clarify, I'm responsible for the packaging. We are going to continue to have a PAX file that can be installed via ZOSMF, and we're going to have the classic PAX files available that can continue to be installed using MSM or SMPE JCL. So it is going to be a PAX file, but it's completely separate. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Great, thanks, Don. Let's see, hold on. There was one more. I thought I saw another hand up. Hold on 1 second. I have to scroll. We got a lot of people on today. Go ahead, Phil. Phil, you're unmuted again. I don't know if you meant to keep your hand up or not.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm all set, Len.
All right, thank you. Let's see. I am seeing a few questions coming in about the presentation. Yes, we will absolutely make sure that you get a copy of the presentation, probably either later today or early next week, only because I'm out the rest of the week. Let's see. Here's another one that came in. I rely on MSM heavily for doing multiple QA installations where I'm able to pull a PAX file or fix from MVS USS or directly from an Endeavor APAR dataset. Will this manual process be available in ZOSMF?
Len, could you please repeat the question once again?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I just closed it. Hold on. I rely on MSM heavily for doing multiple QA installations where I'm able to pull a PAX file or fix from MVS USS or directly from an Endeavor APAR dataset. Will this manual process be available?
This is Elliot. I can take that. I think no, that's unlikely to be available in software updates, since that would be, as you describe it, as a manual, slightly custom process. So that's not something we're targeting at the moment for the software update function that we're building out.
Go ahead, Don. You're unmuted again. I think I'm just going to keep you off mute if that's okay.
Yeah. And Elliot, just to add to Elliot's comment, as far as the PAX files, yes, those will, when you acquire them, those will be unpacked into USS directory, and then you can acquire them directly into ZOSMF from USS.
Great. Thanks, Don. Another question that came in via the questions box. You said Vantage will be the first product to use this. Will that be a new release of Vantage?
So this is currently being assessed by the product team, but if you're interested to try it already, you can reach out to the team, and they will be happy to share it with you, probably through their own validation project at this moment.
Great, thanks. Another question, will there be a period of transition before the ZOSMF piece becomes required? And I guess the follow-up to that is, ZOSMF has a lot of security issues, so it's tightly controlled here at this time.
Sorry, Jan. Just from an MSM, I can take this from an MSM perspective. Yes, there will be a period of transition. So as we roll out the maintenance function, the software update function that Jan had talked about earlier, once we're comfortable with the level of functionality that's available through ZOSMF, we would then signal, send out an announcement to say that we will no longer be supporting MSM, and obviously that then gives you a year before the support actually ends. So there is a period of transition, as we roll these functions out, and then as we announce the end of support, there is still that year for MSM users to actually transition. That's just from an MSM perspective.
Great, thank you. Another question that came in the questions box. This is more high level. I've not used ZOSMF. Is there much of a learning curve?
Hi, this is Jan. Yes, we see this comment many times, and we try to do our best to design the interface for the maintenance as simple as possible. There will be some events when we are presenting this. By the way, if you join this, which is now on the screen, if you join this group, there are some mock-ups and validations, so you can give us a feedback. Also, regarding the workflows or configuration workflows, it depends on a product. So we believe the configuration is much simplified by this, even if, of course, ZOSMF is quite new and still there are some issues with it. But from my perspective, if you will give a try to ZOSMF, there is a good reason to do it.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that. From a software update perspective, we've spent a lot of time designing out the flow to hopefully make it as intuitive as possible. So we've worked with UX designers from different vendors, as this is a cross-vendor initiative. So I hope it's going to prove intuitive and easy to use. From a ZOSMF perspective as a whole, that's probably more of a question for IBM, but I know that they've worked extremely hard over the last few releases on improving the user experience. So I think they've made great progress in that area and continue to do so.
Yeah, and I would like to add one thing. If this question was meant more, I'd say, on the technical level, that the configuration or installation and configuration of ZOSMF is complicated. That's true. And if you would struggle with it, again, I believe in some easy cases, we are able to help you. We did a lot of installations and ZOSMF configurations on our lab environment. So there are some skill and knowledges. So I believe we can share it for our customers.
Great, thanks, guys. Let's see. Oh, another question just popped in. When will this UI be available on Support Online? Also, will this product have its own support page?
Jan, I can answer that. We're referring to Vantage, right? When is Vantage going to be available? Or
the initial question didn't say that. So let's so whoever asked that question, can you please just let us know if you're talking about Vantage?
Perhaps portable software instances was that's what's being referred to, perhaps, Dawn.
I'm assuming, and I can answer that. Right now, we are looking, I think as Jan C. had mentioned, we are looking for customers to validate the portable software instance. Once we get validation, we are going to start then making these new ZOSMF PACS files available. It's going to be product by product. It's not going to be we're rolling out all of them all at the same time. So as we roll, product portable packages as we're enabling them, we will be notifying, the customers when those are available. And I just want to also mention that IBM has started delivering ZOSMF packages. I believe they delivered CICS as a portable package at the end of December. So they are starting to roll out and getting feedback from customers, and that now enables all the rest of the vendors to start doing the same. So you're going to see more and more portable packages coming out from different vendors. So again, it's going to take us some time, but you're going to see that coming out in the next,
Thanks, Don.
Yep.
All right, I don't see any other questions coming in, and I don't see any other hands raised. So I think we can go ahead and wrap up. Thanks everybody for your time. And I just want to mention one more time again that when I close this, a survey is going to pop up. That's also another opportunity to ask questions or to give us some insight into what you might want to hear about next time. So thank you very much to our speakers. Thanks, Jan, and to all of you for giving us some of your time today to hear about this. We really appreciate it. So have a great week, everybody.